Welcome back, JCW fans. I am Kendo, and this is episode 2 of Lunacy Recaps and Reviews. In this episode, we are going to be talking about episode 66, airing on January 15th, 2026. In this episode, featured on commentary Joe Dombrowski and Mark Roberts, and the ring announcer was Clownvis. Let's go ahead and jump right into this bad boy. Alright, tonight's show opens up with Mr. Anderson attempting to apologize to Cowboy James Storm. Like they go to hug it out, but then James Storm quickly decides, fuck that, and he gives him the beatdown. Uh, this fight goes kind of all over the place. Uh, it doesn't really even become a match. So it's just kind of an opening segment with a beatdown continuing last week's uh, fight that kind of got ended in a no contest with Matt Cross interfering. So yeah, this just kind of goes all over the place. Uh, James Storm uses the fans to interact a lot. Uh, Mr. Anderson goes to use his belt, that gets turned around on him. Do believe the Cowboy hits him with the belt, tries to go for the super kick. Low blow. Mr. Anderson delivers one mic check, and just for good measure is a second one onto the chair. Okay, the next segment is backstage with Big Al, and she explains to the cameraman that Vince Russo asked her for some personal favors in order to get the push, if you will. She refused him. Then he asked her for some personal photos, which she also refused. Then she said that he ended up sending her some personal photos, and it's she's gonna show the proof. Then she notices that somebody took a shit in her suitcase, so she then runs to the ring to try to figure that out and see what's going on with that. Okay, next is another backstage segment with Big Vito and the Brothers of Construction. Big Vito informs them that he's happy that they took out the outbreak last week, and he's just proud they did a good job. I do believe it's Ruffo ends up uh, pulling a prank on Vito. Vito ends up getting pretty pissed off and tells them that they're in big trouble now, and that they got a surprise waiting for them here later on in the evening. Alright, next we go to a scene what looks to be a gorilla position, and Caleb Conley is back now, and he informs Jeeves that in his match tonight he doesn't need Jeeves to come out, and that Jeeves can just take the night off and have some Jeeves time. Ring Rat celebrates that he's back and says, hey, we're going to go out there and win this one for Caleb. Jeeves seems unsure. Okay, the opening contest, Clownvis ring announcing, reading off his phone. I found that kind of funny. Yeah. Definitely shouldn't be reading off your phone. To be ring announcing, but that's neither here nor there. Opening contest is Jeeves, and Jeeves will be taking on Stephen Flo. Stipulation in this match, the loser will receive the services of the Ring Rat. Match starts off kind of slow. Stephen Flo does get most of the offense. Nice little springboard elbow, if you will. I think they were calling that a stage dive. Match ends up going outside. Almost a little baseball slide there, but it looks like Jeeves threw the Ring Rat in the way to cause a distraction. Jeeves takes him to the corner, puts a little bit of beating on him, goes for kind of a big time lariat in the corner. Stephen Flo with the comeback off the top. Gets the crowd going. Oh, what's this? Throw it out to the crowd. He's got his own little version of the people's elbow. We'll call it the Rocker's elbow. And I think the ring rat causes a distraction there. Stephen Flo puts him up. Ref counts it. The 1, 2, 3. Stephen Flo is your winner. Next, we cut to another backstage segment. Jasmine St. Clair on the phone with Big Vito, telling him that she found a nice couch for them upstairs. She's quickly interrupted by the outbreak, and you find out that it's all a big setup. Barnabas tells Jasmine that, if she even thinks about informing Vito, that she will feed her to the outbreak instead of Vito. I must have forgot to clip this part, but it did cut to a video package of Disco Ray saying that he will be coming to JCW full time. Then after that, it does cut back to this segment with Jasmine St. Clair laid up on the couch. Big Vito comes in. They basically are about to get down to some adult business, and right before that happens, boom, the outbreak comes in. They carry Big Vito out. Barnabas does inform Jasmine St. Clair that if she comes looking for him, that there will be big trouble for her. Okay, the second match is going to be all three members of the St. Clair Monster Corporation. And at the beginning of the match, they announce that it is Doc Hendricks rules. I think that they meant Freebird rules. I could be wrong, but pretty sure. Anyway, so we got Mr. Happy, Congo Kong, and the Beastman, the St. Clair Monster Corporation, and all three of them will be taking on the Brothers of Funstruction. Pretty sure this was the big trouble that Vito was talking about earlier. The match starts with a pretty cool spot here where they use the teddy bear and the chicken. Mr. Happy ends up slamming the chicken down with a big leg drop, then proceeds to put the teddy bear on top, and the ref counts. Yabo breaks it up. Pretty funny spot. Action finally gets going. This match kind of had a lot of mishaps on the Monster Corp. Boom, right there. You can see Beastman accidentally hitting Congo, and then Congo accidentally hitting the Beastman. This match, you see a lot of that. Again, right there. Not sure if that means they're gonna a big time move right there with look like Ruffo and Congo Kong. But anyway, I'm not sure if they're gonna be splitting up the Monster Corporation or maybe taking out Beastman. It seems like they've been replacing members. Congo Kong goes for a pin, only gets the 2. Mr. Happy with the happy dance and a big time chop. Flash in the corner to Yabo. Here we go. I thought this was pretty good. Ruffo takes advantage of all three guys here for a minute. Some nice offense. It is quickly shut down, but I thought it was a pretty cool spot. 3 big guys to be taken on. Yabo off the top. He ends up tripping Beastman. More double team. I think this is the end of it here. Yep. Brothers with the double team, big boot. Yabo goes for the pin on Congo. Both men, 1, 2, 3. And here are your winners and still tag team champions. Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony, who are supposed to just be fans for the night, end up popping the barricade, and they proceed to beat down the Monster Corporation, just again getting revenge on them. A lot of good chair shots. And they do a cool little thing where both of them got him in the corner here. Yep. Boom. And then that's pretty much the end of that, I do believe. Oh, no, that's right, the shot to Beastman. And then they end up leaving and just going back to hang out in the crowd. Alright, up next, Big Al comes out unexpectedly, and it ends up being a match. She calls out Haley J, because she do believe Haley J's dog, Stormy, was the person who shit in her suitcase. So she basically calls her out and says, "Look, your dog runs around backstage loose, and it's shit in my suitcase." And she informs Haley that because of this, they're now going to have to be in a dog collar match. She's doing this because she is the female showrunner, so she has the authority to do that. Referee locks both of them in. Uh, Dog collar match. They're basically just strapped together. Each wears a collar around their neck with a chain. Clearly, you can see if you didn't know what a dog collar match is, but I'm sure most people do. uh, Big Al ends up right before she gets the chain on. She smashes it from the ref and does not lock to her neck, so she uses the chain to beat down Haley J. Bunch of vicious punches. I do believe she whips her with the chain, correct? Yes. Gives her the beat down there. Still, she's not connected, so she has the upper hand. Goes for a count, but only gets a one. He ain't taking out the champ that easily. Chokes her out in the ropes for a little bit. I do believe Haley J does mount some offense here. Again, goes for a cover. Only gets a 1.5, 2 maybe. It's definitely one-sided because of the advantage. But Haley J does turn it around. Here we go. Code breaker. Couple of them big power slaps. Super kick just for good measures. And then she ends up using the chain to return the favor on Big Al. Goes for the stomp onto the chain but misses. She ends up hurting her leg. Gets choked out. Pretty much hanging her from the ropes. Danny Moe comes out to save her. And little payback from last week with another DVD. Big Al does get back up and she informs the ref to ring the bell and declare her the winner for the interference. Here's your winner, Alice Crawley. It then cuts backstage to Jackson, Abel, and Barnabas. Barnabas informs Big Vito that he's going to hold him hostage and go have a meeting with Vince Russo. And if Vince Russo doesn't give them the title shot that they deserve, then Jackson and Abel will be feeding on Russo. They then see Cocaine backstage and inform Cocaine that they have a little surprise for him. Cocaine walks off with the bat towards Big Vito. Okay, match 4 is the Neon Ninja Facade, and he will be taking on Ninja Mac. Now, this match is going to be a 2 out of 3 series on the next 3 episodes of Lunacy, where the winner of the series will be the U.S. champ. The match starts off with a lot of back and forth flips. Both of these guys are ninjas, that's their gimmicks, so, a lot of flips. They end up doing a lot of move for move, kicks for kicks. I think that's right here. Yeah, see, they ninja up. A lot of back and forth kicks. A lot of the same move. Just, just to show how well matched they are. This was a pretty good match. It had a lot of high-flying action. I always like Facade in the ring. He does his little handstand to mule kick here. It's funny because here, just a little bit, Ninja Mac kind of returns the favor. Off the middle rope there. Big time off the middle rope. Again, these two are phenomenal. And this was a great match. This was another one I had to try to cut down. There was a lot of good spots here. Again, like I was saying, Ninja Mac with the handstand into the mule kick. Big time kick. Jumped all the way up to the top for that one. Here off the middle rope. Another big time move. Facade goes for the pin. Only gets a 2 count on Ninja Mac. Ninja Mac's not going to go out that easily. This is for his Juggalo United States Championship. So, again, another off the top kick there, man. It's so crazy. He goes for another one, met with a super kick though. I think this wraps it up. Yup. Ninja bomb. Ninja Mac goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Takes the win for the first out of 3. They end up showing some love at the end of the match, which was pretty cool. Okay, backstage, Cocaine walks in on Big Vito. Big Vito informs Cocaine, hey, I've taken beatdowns like this before. Just please try to avoid the face. This segment ends with Cocaine closing the door, and you hear the bat beating down Big Vito. Okay, we get another backstage segment where Barnabas walks into Vince's office and introduces himself to Vince Russo for the first time. He proceeds to tell Vince Russo that he feels Vince had a part in Vito's actions last week, and he's the reason why they lost the tag team titles. He then tells Vince Russo that if they doesn't get a title shot tonight, they're gonna feed Big Vito to the Outbreak. Vince Russo then tells Barnabas that he had nothing to do with last week. He's not going to help Big Vito. They're not going to get a title shot because the Brothers of Construction have already had a match tonight, and basically they can do whatever they want. Barnabas says whatever happens now is on your hands. Vince Russo doesn't seem to care whatsoever. So basically, he's not going to help Vito. I'm sure Vito's not going to be happy about that. Okay, match 5 is Mosh Funk. So Mosh Pit Mike's one of his gimmicks. He's trying to beat Terry Funk, and he fights Madman Pondo. This one starts off with Pondo ends up attacking Mike before the match even starts. Boom, Pearl Harbors him from behind. Uh, this one stays outside for a little bit. Pondo deals out most of the punishment. Kind of the same as last week. I didn't do too much of this one. You can see Tony and Willie Mack in front of him. Nice little chair into the corner shot there. Pondo ends up choking the shit out of him. I think Mike does end up getting some comeback here. Yep. A little neck breaker action. Up to the top. Tribute to Terry Funk. And this one wraps up pretty quick. 1, 2, 3. Mosh Pit Mike takes the win. After this one, Pondo does beat him down a little bit. Tries to get some revenge. I do believe Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony end up coming in again for the second time, jumping the barricade. And they're just not happy that Pondo's giving him the beat down after the match. And they chase Madman Pondo out of the arena. And that's pretty much the end of that match there. Okay, up next is another backstage segment where Big Vito's tied up. Jasmine St. Clair is there saying that she had no other choice to set him up. You know, it was either her or him or her. And Big Vito basically cusses her out and calls her a piece of shit. Jasmine St. Clair says she's going to go try to find a knife to cut Big Vito down. Okay, the next segment was the Blast from the Past, which I did just clip out this week. The match was the Great Muta teaming up with Nasawa to take on Too Cold Scorpio and Just Incredible. Too Cold Scorpio ended up pinning Nasawa, taking the win. After the match, the Great Muta ended up spitting the mist into Nasawa's face for costing them the match. And yeah, that was pretty much all that happened in that one. Okay, in tonight's main event, we have Caleb Conley, and he will be taking on none other than Kerry Morton. This was a pretty good match. A lot of technical wrestling. It kind of went back and forth. I do believe Kerry Morton ends up taking some cheap shots to get the advantage early on in the match. But again, very good match. A technical wrestling, very fast paced. I do believe it even goes up to the top a few times. So Elite Frog. And here we go with these fast paced moves like I was talking about. Caleb goes for the 3, but only a 2 count. Here's nice. That's what I was talking about before with the little cheap shots with Kerry Morton. Nice little swing DDT from the middle rope there. Drives him into the corner a few times. I do believe Kerry Morton has the offense for the most part in this match. Caleb Conley does get some stuff in. Kerry Morton going for the count, but only a 2. Nice little suplex there. Bounces him off the top rope. Goes for another pin. Still no luck. Only a 2 count. Caleb Conley's, oh no, double clothesline, knocking both men down. Caleb Conley did get to his feet first, but still not able to do anything. Nice little slap off the top there. Big time superplex coming, yep. Oh, nice. These two men do pretty good in the ring together. You know, I thought with both of them being a heel, it wouldn't be all that good of a match, but referee ends up accidentally getting taken out. Like Kerry Morton hits a couple big time moves. That big knee, he exposed knee. No ref to count the 3. And then again, Matt Cross ends up coming in just like last week, causing some interference. Basically just beating down Kerry Morton. I think Matt Cross ends up reviving the referee. And Caleb Conley sees this and decides, hey, might as well go ahead and take advantage. Climbs over. Ref counts a 1, 2, very slow, 3. Here is your winner, Caleb Conley. The show ends with Vampiro backstage. He's basically stating that he's pretty pissed off that Mosh Pit Mike had Tony and Willie there. He must not have seen that Vince Russo gave him the tickets. He says that next week, Mosh Pit Mike's going to pay. Also next week, there's going to be a triple threat match. Mr. Anderson, James Storm, and a mystery opponent. The winner of that match will then receive a title match that they will take on later that night. The JCW champion, Matt Cordona. All that will take place next week on Lunacy. Be sure to stay tuned. Okay, so I definitely shortened this one up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and end with a few notes, that just my personal opinion. Clownless sucked at a ring announcer. He didn't stick to a script at all. Was reading off of his phone. I think it wasn't until like the 5th match, the one with Mosh Pit Mike, where he said scheduled for 1 fall. Only time he did that. Another thing, I would have switched the first match and the second match, just switched them around. It just seemed like the second match had a little bit more action than the first match did. So yeah, that just would have, it seemed to me like that would have drew people in a little bit better to switch them 2 matches around. There was also a lot of segments. I think we went through like 4, possibly 5 segments before we even got to the opening match. I know there was a lot to cover in tonight's episode, but it just seems like a lot. Oh, another thing I noticed, and I didn't point out any direct spots because if you catch it, you'll catch it. If not, then I guess I'm just wrong. But the production team needs to do a little bit of better job of switching to different camera angles when opponents are in the ring calling their spots, because there were a few matches tonight where you could blatantly see that was going down, and that's easily avoidable by just switching to a different camera. Other than that, I thought the show was great. Overall, I'd give it probably about a 7.5. Again, everybody firing on all cylinders. I think the show's doing great. I can't wait till next week. Let me know what you guys thought about the show and or all the matches in the comments. Also, they started doing the post show, which hopefully they put a little bit more thought into it. I know this was just the first episode, and but it just seemed not very well thought out. Maybe they should get the show a little bit early or something, so they're more well prepared. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, share, leave some comments, and like. Till next time, peace.